Hi there, welcome back. Welcome to a bit of my day. If you're new here, I'm Catherine, up in Canada, where right now it's pretty cold. Wowie, yesterday was cold. Warmed up a little bit today. Not so bad. The nice thing is, if there can be a nice thing when it's this cold, it's not windy. So that the wind chill is what really can bring down a temperature fast from what it actually is to what it feels like. But I'm sure my dog with her little bare paws would tell you otherwise. She goes out there and after a while, sometimes when you're a dog, you know what it's like. You have to find the right spot. You've got to sniff and is this the right? No, that's not the right. Is this the right? No, not there. I wonder what it is that goes through their little brains to find the perfect spot. It's funny, in the winter, the perfect spot can be found faster when the ground is that cold. I don't mean to mock you, darling. Yes. Anyhow, I didn't get much more done on little Miss Florence here. Yesterday I had some running around to do. I had a delivery to make to a sick daughter. Sometimes the mothers need mothering, and she was so sick. So I dropped off homemade soup, and she wanted Gatorade. And I threw in some things that I like. Like I like those really strong halls that really, your nose, it clears your nose even without nose spray. And the Kleenex that have the little bit of Vicks Vapor Rub in it. Love those too. Those are really nice. And then of course Vicks Vapor Rub. I mean, our family, we call it love in a jar. And I don't know why Vicks hasn't paid us for that little logo, because it just smells like someone loves you. That's the way I always felt that way. I knew when my mom got out the Vicks Vapor Rub and she'd rub it on my chest and on my back. And I've heard through various and read through various sources that it really doesn't do much. But the smell, for me, is what reminds me that someone loves me enough that they're taking care of me while I'm not feeling well. And that's why, at least in our family, it's known. If someone's not feeling well and you just say, look, do you have any love in a jar? Because even when you rub it on yourself, it just still feels like, yeah, I feel like crap, but somebody loves me. So I dropped off a jar of love in a jar, and set her up so that she can, fortunately her little ones are big enough that they can get themselves to school, and she could lay on the couch and pamper herself a little bit. All right, I enough about that. Enough about family life, because it goes on no matter what we're doing. Still having good eye days. Happy about that. I've had a few people ask in the comments when I do the sewing on a book such as this, am I actually sewing through the book? Let's move you, Florence. You go up there. And yes, I am. I'm literally sewing through the cover of the book. I don't know if you can see here, the cover ends. There's the end of the cover. I'm running my finger across it. That stitching is going right through the board of the book. So older covers tend to lend themselves to being sewn through better than newer covers, or else also cheaply made covers tend to not mind being sewn through. Do I recommend it? Well, if you have a $3,000 phenomenal sewing machine that you love and use for other things such as quilting and clothing and things like that, I don't know what to tell you. My little old machine here is, I think it's like an 87 Kenmore, which was Sears' own brand. And it is sentimental to me because it was my mother's. But on the other hand, I know for a fact my mother would say, use the machine, because otherwise it would stay in the case and be packed away in my closet. And it's better to be worn out in service than collecting dust in a closet. So I use the sewing machine on paper and cardboard and whatever I can get it through. Now, sometimes I literally have to have one hand on the bottom of the book to push it through under the foot, and I have to be using my hand to literally make my needle go up and down on some books that are trying to fight me, and I know that I can get them to cooperate. Some of them will just sew through like butter, like butter. But others, they will give fight, and others, yeah, there's just no way it's going to happen. The chipboard is too hard. It's either too new or the quality was too good. So it's almost worth your while I tried it in an area first to do sort of a few test stitches to see if it would accept a needle being punched through it. And that way, if I felt like it wasn't going to work, then I still had other options, because if I had to, I was going to use my awl and literally poke holes along there and hand sew the fabric and the covers together in this instance to make sure that I wasn't just depending on the glue to hold it together, because I didn't want the fabric to be long. If I had had fabric wings that came out to say where these black leather pieces come out to, I wouldn't worry so much about sewing. There's enough fabric and enough glue that it will hold that new spine in place just fine. But because I have, this is fringe here, I pretty well have maybe about 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch of fabric there of glue on both sides, holding it in place. So this side has a little bit more, maybe 1/2 an inch. So it might have been okay because of the underside gluing, but I didn't want to take a chance. Plus, I like the look of this. But I was prepared. So that way, if using the sewing machine wasn't going to end up being an option for me, I was going to use an awl and then go through the holes that I created and sew it by hand and give it that just little extra oomph. And so the best thing I can suggest to you is if you have a thrift store nearby that has maybe a throwaway book bin, a cheap bin, or maybe your library has free to take with you, or you've got an old book on your shelf, practice on it. That's what I did. I had a book on my shelf that the only reason I had it was for the signatures and folios inside. the cover was really ugly and in bad shape, and I never had any intention of using the cover, so I pulled the cover off of it and I used it to practice my sewing, to practice straight stitching, because for example, with this one, yeah, you can see here, I sewed right through that cover, and it was happy to accept the needle. And so practicing straight stitching like that, but then also practicing when you want it to purposefully look really messy and haphazard. And they both have their place. I love them both. So, and then of course the Shinuki thread knots, they're just, I'm in love with, those. So, I've been thinking a lot about this plain spine, and it needs something. And I don't think just doing that is enough, because if it's on a bookshelf, just that really isn't all I want. And I think what I want to do is, if it works, I'm going to do a test run. I have a piece of the fabric here. As I mentioned, this fabric is from some napkins that I found at a thrift store. So there was 4 of them pinned together that I got at a thrift store. But I liked the color. I liked it. They were already soft and worn out. And I liked the heaviness for a spine like this, nice and still sturdy enough. So, and with 4 of them, that's lots of books. I'm only on my second one. I think I still have 2 more full napkins left. And I still even have lots left of, see what I mean? There's just lots when you use napkins. So don't forget, I find my thrift store, my local thrift store, not that I'm going to it lately, but my local thrift store, for some reason, seems to overprice their scrap fabric. I don't know why. But don't rule out heading over to the tablecloths, table runners, placemats, and fabric napkins for sources of really interesting fabric for your junk journals. Although not that this is interesting, but this is what I wanted for another journal I was working on. All right, lecture over with. What I was thinking I want to do, I kept thinking about how every single page in this book has this detailing at the top of the fleur-de-lis. And it reminded me that I have a stencil with several fleur-de-lis on it, but I don't want them. It would be easy to just put it on here and have those go sideways. I don't want them sideways. I really do want them upright, but I'm not sure, first of all, if it'll look nice, and then whether I want to use ink or whether I want to use Pounce some black paint. I'm not quite sure, or marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with this one, oh, by the way, I get these at Dollar Tree. And I think I don't know whether they intend them to be a one-time use thing, but I find if you're gentle, you can get many, many uses out of them. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to use this one. I'm hoping, my intention is to use these on the spine. But I'm going to put it on here for now. And here's where it's going to get labor intensive. Hold on. We're going to need tape. Because my first try that I'm going to do is, if you hear moaning and groaning, it's the demanding little tenant getting into a comfy position. My first thing that I'm going to try is the one that I think will be the easiest, and that is a big fat permanent marker. So, but I don't want to risk getting it on the rest of the fabric. So by giving yourself boundaries, I will just get ink. The plan is that if I go over the stencil, it will just go on this tape. Let's come in a bit there. And I've got a king-size Sharpie. This is like, that's the size of a Frankfurter there. To make my grandchildren laugh, I'd call it a wiener, and then they'd all go, ah, Bobby calls them wieners, because everyone calls them hot dogs now. A hot dog is when the wiener is in the bun. The two together make a hot dog. This isn't a hot dog. It's a marker. That's one of my rants, and I've ranted about it before, but it bugs me. If they're together, then it's a hot dog. That's like calling a slice of bologna a bologna sandwich. It's not a sandwich till it's in the bread. It's just bologna, and there's the bread over there. Put it together, you've got a bologna sandwich. If you've got a wiener and you've got a bun, well, you got a wiener and a bun. Put them together, you got a hot dog. All right, now I promise to shut up. Let's see. Oh, this could be good. So if I pounce it, let's just do pounce because I'm anticipating it might bleed a little. Uh-oh, I think it's bleeding a lot. Now this one's a little smaller. I may have to try one of the others now that I've finished my hot dog lecture for the day too. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the looks of that. Oh, there we go. I don't like the looks of that. I don't think this is going to be good. If I can pull it all off in one piece, then I can lay it back down again in one piece. Oh, are you going to let me? Or are you going to be a stinker? Oh. Look! Look! I'm happy. I think that would look good down the down the spine. Oh. Okay, I'm really excited. How are we for time? 19 minutes. I'm going to get this set up off camera. Then I'll explain to you how I did it. Oh, let's come out a bit. There we go. What I'm going to be doing is, because I want these all upright and down the center, I will be penciling in first And then I will be blocking them like this. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to pause, get it all ready, and then we will pounce with the Sharpie Frankfurter marker momentarily. Okay, I'm turning on the camera so I can let you see how far I am so far. I've decided that I find more often than not when an old book is going to have bands. This one I didn't put bands through the whole thing. I put bands at the top and bottom, and that's it. But if there are going to be bands, usually I find that there's 5 sections. So I'm going to put 5 fleur-de-lis. So I've measured out those. There's one more to go here. I'm fortunate. I have lots of these, and you can see here where I've done this before on other books for using the gilding wax. So I believe that there's several in a package. I could be wrong, so don't hold me to that. But I do believe there could be several to a package at Dollar Tree. And like I said, I find you can use them, like I will use these again, which is why I left them attached to this. And I'll probably use these again. So what I'm doing now is I'm just eyeballing and sort of, it's the spine is 4 centimeters wide. So I'm just making sure that the center of that fleur-de-lis is center from that. And then I'm going to hold it up. Hold on, so that it's on the 2 approximately. It's not perfect. Now I'm going to pause and hold this up because I can tell these are closer than these. And you're probably telling me that through the screen. Catherine, the top ones are closer. I know it. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, this is good. If it looks off to you, it's the camera angle. It's doing sort of like a airplane landing kind of view here. So please trust me that, well, that this is as good as it's going to get. It's a junk journal. And sometimes I think there's something to be said for a handmade journal being evident that it is handmade. I just feel that way. Now, all right. I'm hoping to just save myself a bit of time here. Now, let's use some of you up. There. So if they're not perfect, I do have some other tricks up my sleeve that I plan on doing. For example, I plan on maybe playing with a bit of gold pen, doing a little flick here and there of gold pen. You and You can tell that this kind of thing now, there once was a time it would terrify me and I would have to turn the camera off because I would just be way, way, way too nervous. Not so nervous this time. We've done this together enough that I think we're good. Are you feeling okay? I'm feeling okay. I think we're good. There we go. Now I need a bit more. This tape is wonderful. My BB, also known as my CC. My little best bud over there. That way. A couple hours that way. When she hits the road and if she sees something kind of cool, next thing I know, my phone's going off and a photo's showing up. This looks good. Want some? She's awesome. Anyhow, this tape was one of those things that she said, this looks interesting. What do you think? It's expensive. What do you think? And I said, get me some. I want it. Get it. I want it. And I love it. It's Scotch brand. I don't know if you can read that. Scotch brand Delicate Surface. Marvelous. Marvelous tape. Comes off nice and easy. Very little damage. I'm going to pause, finish this, and then we're going to plop with the marker together. Okay, we're ready. And I'm sure right now some of you are thinking, Catherine, you should have left space so you can make use of these. Maybe put these on there. That would look great. I agree, and I thought about that. I heard you. Thought about it. But I can't help but keep seeing this and I don't trust these, even with good glue, I don't trust these not to do this. Not that that would be a bad thing. Again, it's junk journal. We don't mind off-looking things. I think she's into something. Hold on. So, I did think about it. I'm going to have to find another way to make use of these safely, perhaps on a tag or something, where if they crack and fall off, it's not going to be heartbreaking. All right, so let's do this. Let's cross our fingers and do this. And if it doesn't work, we're going to have to figure something else out. I've pushed these down nice and firm. So let's just do it. Can we? Should I come down closer? There we go. Okay. I got to remember to sort of pounce rather than try and draw it. And not hold it down for too long. Hey, did you notice? I remembered to put my microphone on today. I charged it and put it on. We're making baby steps. We're doing it. I want to make sure I don't have any parts missing, because when I peel it off, that's going to be it. All right, I'm going to pause. I'm going to finish this. If I knew how to do fancy edits, I'd speed up so you could watch me do them all. I would have to splice together to do that, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to pause, finish these, but we will do the peel and reveal. That sounds a little risque. We'll do the peel and reveal together, so hold on. Okay. here we go. I'm nervous. I gotta tell you. I'm a little nervous. I might do a little peek. Let's see. And if you hear me squeal with delight, then you can all take a deep breath in and go, oh, it's okay. And if you hear me go, or no, you won't hear me swear. I would have to edit that out. Oh, rats. No, it's everything's okay. Don't worry. No rats was that the blue thing wasn't coming up with it. Oh, okay. All right, that one's all right. That one's all right. So far, so good. That one's all right. Okay, 3 out of 5. Not bad. Come on, little fleur-de-lis. You can do it. You can do. Yes, that one's all right too. Come on, one more. Please be okay. Please be okay. Please be okay. Please be okay. Yes! We did it! You guys, we did it! High five to us. High five, high five, high five, high five. Yay! Oh, yes. Oh, let me come back a bit. Oh, that wasn't it. There we go. Yes, I love it. That looks good. I saw my thing do something over there, and I think I ran out of space. And it's retaping. Well, that looks nice. Hopefully I don't have some editing to do, because I just saw my phone do something, and it's got me a little nervous. Anyhow, I'm happy with that. I'm rethinking the gold now, but so far so good. I'm seeing a tiny little bit of bleeding, and I hope that stops soon, very soon. And if not, we're going to put that off to aging. All right, take care. Thanks for being with me during another nerve-wracking session of, I wonder if this will work. Will it work? Me and my Sharpie king-size Frankfurter. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you're doing well. And I hope your friends and family and loved ones are all safe and sound and keeping warm. If you're in a place that's cold right now, take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.